This managers going head-to-head this match had all the ingredients of an intriguing encounter. There for us was Ger Canning and Tony Davis.
Big long one is cut out easily by Paul MacDonald. Crisply taking it forward and spotting a loose man is Ross Munnelly. Meath get two men back to try and challenge, but it's a good ball from Ross Munnelly and it's over the bar. Reynolds into space. Sheridan had fallen. Picked up instead by Aidan Fennelly. By ball! There's an opportunity. It's with Regan again. And he's kicked it over the bar this time. If at first you don't succeed, keep on trying seems to be the Meath motto. Dáithí Regan did this, but what about the assist pass from Evan Kelly right across? And Laois were carved open. Parkinson winning his race against Darren Fay. That's one of the features of the match this afternoon. Noel Garvin, Bino MacDonald trying to win the duel. Did he pick it up? Referees decided it's going to be a free to Laois. The Meath fans don't quite agree. Interesting switch of positions for Brian Bino MacDonald this afternoon. They try to maximise his value to the team. Munnelly, good positional play. That's a great score by Ross Munnelly, the scoring star of the show so far. 3 shots at the target, 3 points for the little number 10. Players calling for it. Sheridan is one of them. The big man laying it back there along the line. Little block on it, however, as it is still in play. Still opportunities. Seamus Kenny. Rooney trying to block the route into goal on the baseline. Turn back here to Trevor Giles. Good looking shot, and the umpire reaches for the white flag and waves it here in Croke Park. Aidan Rooney keeping his head, flicking it up here as far as Bino MacDonald to Colin Parkins, who started so prominently, trying to get it above Darren Fay, gets it back however. Laois fortunate this time. Parkinson curls, and Parkinson has scored a beauty. One of the points of the match. Held on to there by the captain, Chris Conway. Battling to get into the match in a more meaningful way. That'll do nicely, and that's over the bar. Chris Conway, panel member last year, who didn't see any of the action. Down once again towards the corner forward, has started scoring. Conway, great ball outside for Clancy. Oh, good block. Darren Fay did really well, took the steam out of that. Watch his approach, watch his timing, brilliant. Charles McCarthy breaking ball on the 40, that's a key, the alertness of Evan Kelly. A good ball in towards Regan, rapid transfer to Sheridan. It's a great score. Joe Sheridan kicks his first from play, his third of the day. But look at the combination from the kick by Gallagher, the layoff, and the pass inside to Sheridan, and a blistering shot over. They are level. Fed ahead to Ross Munnelly. Trainer trying to get in a challenge. Munnelly with the awareness to pick out Parkinson, laying it inside towards Brian Bino MacDonald. Selling dummies right, left and centre and finding himself in the clear. MacDonald, lovely skill. His first point. And it's Ross Munnelly, the chief tormentor, taking on Tomas O'Connor. Nicely freed up inside. Lovely ball inside for Rooney, and it's got a deflection and it's a 45. Darren Rooney was almost in fact he had a golden opportunity. Started there by Chris Conway, carried on by Michael Lawler, and the final opportunity falling Darren Rooney's way. Nicely contained over there by Joe Sheridan. Going to steal a march on Colin Byrne, and Byrne resorts to fouling. This is a tricky customer that Byrne is having to challenge this afternoon. Difficult to contain, the jersey pulled back. Can he level the match here from about 30 metres out? He catches it beautifully. And the teams are now level for the 6th time. Ian Fitzgerald laying it off for Noel Garvin. Kicking on the run, but dropping short for David Gallagher, the Meath goalkeeper. Fay. Mark O'Reilly. Support here from Seamus Kenny. Trevor Giles was available. That's a bad ball from Kenny, who was thinking 1 or 2 moves ahead. Parkinson, meanwhile, bearing down on goal and fisting it over the bar. Colin Parkinson's 2nd point. Paddy Reynolds. The kick ahead once again by Tomas O'Connor. Always the direct route forward. Here's an opportunity for Regan. Saved by Byron. He smothered it well. The keeper did really, really well on that occasion to deny Meath. Garvin feeding it into Rooney. Lovely interplay. Chris Conway feeding it ahead to Clancy to kick and to score. That's Laois football at its best. Here comes cornerback Joe Higgins, 40 metres out and a little more from the Meath goal. Bino MacDonald. Lovely control to beat McKay and to kick supremely. That is some score by Brian. They call him Bino MacDonald. Ross Munnelly breaking into himself. Hank Traynor has more or less given up the ghost at this stage. He's playing way off Ross Munnelly. Ian Fitzgerald stylishly carrying it ahead. Mick Lawler punting it in hopefully for Parkinson to finish. He does! It could be the seminal moment of the game. On the hour, nearly 60 minutes are gone, and Colin Parkinson has got the first goal of the match. Little chip comes off the post, down to Crawford, and again it's Fergal Byron who produces a match-winning save. Super goalkeeping by Fergal Byron. Watch as this was floated in here by John Cullinan. Crawford's shot was brilliantly stopped by a goalkeeper who's really showing wonderful reflexes. A first-class stop by a first-class goalkeeper. Sheridan taking the 45 and he's put it over the bar. He may end up on the losing team, but he can be very pleased with his first performance in the championship. It's his debut, remember, at this level. Crawford breaking it down, but he breaks it to a Meath man, to Kelly. Mick Lawler is going through. Meath slow to close, and Lawler very wisely decided there was no need for a goal. Just tap it over, take the points. Parkinson using up a little bit of the spare time. He's a great talent. Beautiful ball inside, awkward angle. Goalkeeper under pressure, he does well. Fouled and a free out. Ian Fitzgerald committed the foul. That's Colin Parkinson down there injured. But they're just turning it on at this point. Parkinson releasing it, wasn't too aware of where it was going to go to. There it is again. The referee has gone way down to the middle of the field. And there's a red card, and it's against John Cullinan. Lawler kicking, stopped by the goalkeeper, almost as good as a point as the referee whistles, and the Leinster semi-final ends in victory for Laois.
We were with them for a long time, but when they got the breaks and they went ahead, we didn't have any answer to it. We had chances, we just weren't able to put them away. Maybe it was we were put off the ball or whatever it was, but that doesn't matter. They played like champions today. they're going to be very difficult to dethrone, not just in Leinster, but they're going to be very difficult in the whole All-Ireland series, and the very best of luck to them.
I think Meath got an awful lot of breaks in the first half, and they seemed to be the hungrier team, but we corrected that at half-time. We said, like, there's no way we're going to give away that Leinster title that easily, so I think when we started competing with them around the middle with breaks and all, we came out on top.
Colm, the Meath footballing slide is accelerating rapidly downhill.
Yeah, this is a poor performance by Meath, and I suppose the worst aspect of it was, 3 points in the second half, 2 frees and 145 from Joe Sheridan. And the normal thing that you would associate with Meath football is a sort of a big spurt in the last 10 minutes, when the game was still up for grabs, and that seems to have gone out of Meath's play at the moment. There isn't that level of passion and fire that we would normally associate with our own team's performances in Croke Park. 2
weeks ago, after Dublin were knocked out of the Leinster Championship, you called for Lyons' resignation. Would you be looking for a similar fate for Sean?
Well, Pat, you've got it wrong there. I said that if I was Tommy Lyons, that I would resign. That's exactly what I said. Now, the reason I said that, and subsequently I think it was proved right, that Tommy Lyons was subjected to a level of personal abuse which no man and no manager should ever have to contend with. So I said, if I was in Tommy Lyons' position, I think he's a brave man to do it. Now, Sean Boylan is a totally opposite case to that. He's not going to receive any abuse from Meath supporters. I think Sean Boylan, I wouldn't lecture to Sean on television.
No, but what the point I'm trying to make, Colm, is there a need for a fresh face there in Meath?
Well, I think that Sean will decide that in his own due course, and I will speak to him privately.
You said it last year as well now. You said it this time last year.
Well, I don't indulge in sort of megaphone diplomacy with Sean. I'll sit down and have a chat with him shortly.
Lovely. Anthony, what did you make of that fair?
I thought the first half was ordinary enough, Pat. I think it was very, very scrappy. Second half, Laois took over and were very, very impressive. Very sound defensively. Joe Higgins and Tom Kelly were superb, and they had the men up front to get the crucial scores at crucial times in the game, and they were good value for the victory.
Colm, you selected a couple of excellent scores, Bino McDonald's point and Colm Parkinson. You might take us through.
Yeah, well, I think Micko made a very important switch at half-time. He brought Pádraig Clancy to the middle of the field and stabilised things and pushed up Bino closer to the goals. Now, he was operating very far out the first half, but that's the sort of skill that you love to see in any player. Solas off the left, turns around and kicks it over. And Mick Lawler made a difference when he came in. It took him a while to get into the game, but that's a beautiful pass in. And Parkinson caused trouble all afternoon. Switched Faye off him and put Mark Riley on him. But he really, really had a very, very good game.
A good game, but on the goal there, he overcarried for me. He took 8 steps there before he put that ball in the net. So he did overcarry. I know he was falling over, but
Colm, Fergal Byron had to be coaxed out of retirement to play with Laois. I think after today, Laois supporters will be glad he came back.
Absolutely, because what Meath needed at different stages was a goal, because 9 points is a poor return, and had a couple of chances. That one with Daithí Regan, because he was a left-footed player, maybe it made it a bit easier, but still Byron did very, very well. This one hits the post, comes back to Nigel Crawford. Again, Meath needed a goal very badly. Again, Byron very sharp. He's paid his way.
That one fell to the wrong man. I think if that had fell to Ollie Murphy or some of the other danger men, they would have put that in the net. I think Byron did well, but he made himself big, but the kick was kicked at him.
So a few people were talking after the game about the sending off of John Cullen. Now, it wasn't spotted by any camera during the match, but an isolated camera picked up John Cullen's incident with Colm Parkinson. If we're watching your Colm.
Yes, well, yeah, there was a few Meath players, surprisingly enough. I thought Paddy Reynolds did very well and Anthony Miles, and I thought Joe Sheridan up front did very well for Meath. Tom Kelly and Joe Higgins, as Anthony said, were very good, and of course that exquisite skill from Bino, we had that all day long. Parkinson, now that he's lost a sort of James Dean rebel without a cause image, very good, but they really only had to be one man. Ross Munnelly was head and shoulders over every player in Croke Park today. His running with the ball, his unselfish play, and his scoring was absolutely fantastic. He's the sort of a player I think is going to have, any wing back in the country is going to have grave difficulty marking, because he has everything a good forward should have. His pace, his ability to score off his left, and he'll work very, very hard for his team. Again, distance, when Laois needed points early on, he got every one of those. He's young and he's still learning. I wouldn't like to see where he's going to be in a couple of years, but
he'll be troubling a lot of defenders.
has a diamond there.
He has indeed.
Ross
Congratulations to Ross. Well, after the game, we spoke to the Sunday game man of the match, Laois's number 10, Ross Munnelly.
Ross Munnelly, after a terrific game of football, you're the man of the match, so congratulations.
Thanks very much. Tough game out there today, but it's great to be coming out on the winning side, and 15-man display today was absolutely terrific, starting in the goal from Fergal Byron, where he made 2 brilliant saves, and all the way up to corner forward, where we all worked our socks off. So it was a team performance.
And Colin Parkinson played well after full forward for you.
Yeah, great goal by Woolley. He's threatening that the whole time, and you get the ball into him and he'll do the business for us.
I have a sense now that this Laois team has matured, even since last year's height of the Leinster final. You'd like to be looking beyond the Leinster final this year, I'm sure.
Well, we won't be looking beyond the Leinster final at all. We weren't even looking towards the Leinster final today. We were taking one step at a time. We knew Meath were going to be a huge task to beat up here, and we really applied ourselves, and this thing of writing Meath off and putting Laois up there in the clouds, that's not going to work with us, because we realise that coming with the territory is all this sort of praise and publicity, and we're not going to let that get on top of us, and we've no better man than Nick O'Dwyer to bring us back down to earth every time.